Now, I've been waiting for this call from, no lie, Matt Damon. Matt Damon is supposed to call the show. Is he on? All right, go ahead and put it through. Is this even him? Hold on. Y100, hello.
Hello, it's Matt Damon.
Matt!
What's up?
Like we're good friends. Mack, hey, what's going on? Yeah. Hey, it's Matt Damon. That's cool.
Well, Dan, when they give me like the hotline number and they're like Mack's there, it does feel like we've been talking forever.
We've been good friends. We actually hang out, play golf. It's cool.
I listen to Y100 though, so you know.
When you're down here in Miami?
Yeah, I live here.
Oh, where's your place at? Can I come hang out?
You gonna come over to the house?
Yeah,
I live on the beach.
I'll come over, man. Swim trunks and all.
Perfect.
Now, you know what's funny is I actually heard you met your wife down here, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. That's a perfect place to meet a woman. That's all I'm saying. No better place to find a girl than in Miami. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it definitely works for me. I can't argue with you.
Now, before we jump into all the celebrity questions, all right, I got to ask you, your true reason for calling the show is?
Well, the reason I'm calling you today, Mac, was because I'm really working hard to get the vote out early here in Florida. I just want to remind everyone that we have the ability to vote early here. Depending on your county, you can do it up until November 1st. Some counties can do it till November 2nd, but to be safe, try and do it before November 1st. And I say that not only because I think it's going to be more convenient if we don't all wait till Election Day to go down to the polls, but
right.
But because if there's any discrepancy between your driver's license and your name on the rolls, then you can get disqualified. So if you vote early, you'll see if there's any problem, and they can fix it for you in time for you to cast your vote and have it cast and counted.
You know, one of the things I'm really proud of here in Miami is a lot of people register to vote early, which is cool.
Which is great, and I mean I think that's one thing I've seen kind of going around these last few days and talking to people is the enthusiasm for this election is really, really great.
I know people are driving around right now or they're listening at home and they're like, I know that voice. Who is that? Matt Damon hanging out on the show. Do you mind just chilling for a little bit longer? Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
I want to talk a little bit about the movie stuff and I want to get back into the politics stuff. Is that cool?
Cool.
All right. More with Matt Damon next. Mack at Nite shows on Y100.
Mack at Nite on Y100.
My old friend, good buddy of mine, we hang out at the beach all the time. Matt Damon on the show. It's Y100. Hey, it looks good for me, for the ladies.
Use it. Do what you have to do.
I got to do what I got to do. I'm not Matt Damon. That's all I'm saying. Now, after Miami, I heard you're headed overseas to film a movie.
Yeah. I have reshoots to do over in Morocco, so I'm heading out in a couple days, and so I'll watch the election from over there.
Now, I read online the 4th installment of the Bourne series is in post-production, but that didn't seem right. Is it?
No, the script hasn't been written yet.
Oh, it hasn't even been written. Okay.
No, it's a few years off.
Now, I know you have to have some type of input for the new Bourne movie. What direction do you see it going, or what direction would you like it to go?
I'm going to wait and see what kind of ideas come out of the writing process, and then the writer's George Nolfi. He's terrific. He wrote the last one, and he and Paul Greengrass, the director, and I will get together, and we'll figure something out.
Now, the election has created a lot of celebrities in itself. Governor Palin, okay, which we've heard. We've seen the YouTube video going around, and Joe the Plumber. And the Joe the Plumber comment about you, do we have that? Can we play that back for him?
I'm not Matt Damon. I'm not any of those guys who, have, droves of women and men that want to be them or so on and so forth. And they're like, yeah, oh God, I'll vote for him because Matt Damon said, I love his movies, but I don't have that kind of.
Now let me ask you this: do you still really have a lot of women throwing themselves at you now that they know you're married?
No, everybody knows I'm an old married man. Nobody. They stopped throwing themselves at me a long time ago. The only ones throwing themselves at me are my 3 girls. They I have a stepdaughter and 2 daughters, and the wrestling matches are pretty good with the 2 older ones.
By the way, if you are just tuning in, Matt Damon on the show. It's Y100. Now, with fame comes a lot of crazy stories. I got to go back to the question: has anybody ever tried to sneak into your hotel room to they're like, I got to get next to Matt Damon?
No, I've never. Nothing like that has really ever happened to me.
Come on, are you kidding?
Cool.
Are you kidding?
Look, there's a famous story about the 1980s. They said, Michael Jackson couldn't leave his house, and Bruce Springsteen you might bump into at the local bar having a beer.
Right.
And I think it's very much you get back what you put out, and I never bought into all the nonsense and traveled with the whole coterie of bodyguards and people with headsets on. And I think if you don't try and act like a big deal, I think people are pretty. At least in my experience, people are real cool.
You're an A-list actor. Do you think that you going out there and saying, "Hey, I am voting for Barack Obama," do you think that plays into the way people are going to vote?
If we can play any role, I would hope that it would just be to steer people towards the issues, to just look at what each of these guys stand for, and just take a good look at it, and then we've made at least a small difference. But no, I don't think that anybody sitting at home listening to what a celebrity says about who to go vote for.
Right. What do you think is the biggest lie you've heard in this election?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I mean, the one thing I'll say about the little contact I've had with the Obama campaign is that they really want to stress the positive, which I appreciate. I mean, they've run a great campaign, so I'm not one to question, their business. I'm a real novice when it comes to politics, but I do appreciate that they want to kind of, rather than focus on the kind of the negative stuff, and they don't want any of that. They said, look, if you'd like to speak, then speak about Barack and his plan for the economy and plan for health care,
right.
Giving everybody health care and his plan for education. And so I'd rather kind of honor that request and be a little bigger man about this.
No, dude, I totally understand. Do you really?
When it's me, Mac, when it's me and you hanging out on the beach, I'll tell you,
Dead on, man. I'm bringing the beers. We'll chill and we'll talk about it.
Great,
that and the socks. We'll talk about that.
Oh, my beloved socks. They went down this year. They had a good year, though.
More with Matt Damon next. It's Y100.
Mack at Night on Y100.
Y100 Mack and Nite shows on. Very special guest hanging out. My man Matt Damon. Now, I got to ask you this. I know we were talking politics earlier. If you had to roast Barack Obama, like one of those celebrity roasts you see all the time, what would you say?
I thought he did a pretty good job roasting himself at that event in New York.
I saw that. I had to watch it from home. I didn't have $50,000 to spend on a plate, for dinner.
No, I watched it on TV, too. I actually watched it on YouTube.
You mean you didn't even get to go? Damn, the recession is bad right now.
Oh, man, you don't want to get me on the recession. Man, I was at a food bank in San Francisco a few days ago giving food out, and man, only 10% of the people we were serving were homeless. So they're literally like single moms with their kids, single dads with their kids in these food lines. I mean, it was just absolutely jaw-dropping. It was so sad, and it just made me think this change has got to come.
Matt Damon on the show, by the way. It's Y100. Now, I have to ask you this. Do you feel that sometimes celebrities, and you being a celebrity and in Hollywood, do you feel that, people are always like, oh, I can't believe they got $50 million to do a movie. Do you ever feel like, wow, that's way too much money, or I'm worth that?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those businesses where it's so hyper competitive, and a few people draw those huge salaries, and most of the hundreds of thousands of people who are in the union don't get anything, and that's just always been the nature of that industry.
Right.
It's when the people get to that point and they get their few years where they can command that kind of salary, they're pretty defensive of it. But ultimately, as I said before, like more often than not, if you're doing a good movie, you're cutting your fee substantially. You're either putting your fee back into the production and getting it on the back end if it's successful, or you're just putting it back in and giving it up. I mean, you're just kind of giving it up completely. I mean, I remember when I did The Good Shepherd, and I'd given 2/3 of my salary back, and from what I had left, they were going to take the cameras. The studio was taking the cameras away from us, and we were in Santo Domingo, and De Niro comes up to me and he's like, Matt, I need a little more. So, that was the first time in my life I ever actually wrote a check back to a studio.
To the studio?
But that does happen.
If you could tell the people of South Florida one thing right now, what would you tell them? I'm giving you the floor right now. Go ahead.
Oh, I've got the floor. Okay, well, the one thing I would say is to please get out and vote early so that we make sure that every vote is counted. Whether you're voting for McCain or Obama, it's a great thing that we have this chance to vote early.
Now, one last question. Could you find a spot for me in the next Bourne movie as like your little cousin who's good with guns?
Yeah, or maybe one of the guys. Maybe we could do a fight scene together.
Yeah, we do a fight scene and get my ass kicked. I've seen you, man.
Right, let me read the script. I'll have my eye open for it.
Perfect.
I'll be on the lookout for something good.
Hey, I told you, $50 million movie. I'm in. So
okay, man.
It's union. All right, cool.
Perfect.
More in minutes. Mack at Night shows on Y100.
Mack at Night on Y100.